你先开始。
开始。
Hello,
Hi.
Professor Brucer. We are happy to have you here. We know you do the research in the fish oil, omega-3 fish oil. We have some questions want to discuss with you.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best to answer the questions.
Could you please to introduce a little bit about the fish oil to us?
Yeah, today I'll be discussing the importance of the omega-3 fatty acids for health. These are found in fish and also in fish oil supplements. So we're going to talk about the importance of omega-3, beginning with pregnancy and through breastfeeding to make sure the baby gets omega-3, and then we'll go into adult concerns like omega-3 to protect for the heart health, and also in young people, for example, there's studies in school children who consume more omega-3 have a better chance to do better in their schoolwork. And then for old people like me, there's evidence that omega-3 can help maintain the brain functioning as you get older and older. So these are the topics that we'll be discussing today. I just say omega-3 as a nutrient is consumed at very low levels in our population here. And therefore the idea is that throughout the lifespan to try and increase our intake of omega-3 from fish or fish oils. The reason for fish oils as a supplement is some people don't like fish.
Yes.
For children, they don't like the bones, or they say it smells fishy,
Yeah, too fishy.
or they're worried about the mercury. So these are some of the reasons why people who cannot or will not eat enough fish, then the supplement is another option.
Okay, Doctor, can I ask a question?
Please.
Because a lot of people right now is vegetarian, right? So do you have any suggestion if they are vegetarian, how can they take what kind of stuff they can take for omega-3 instead of fish oil?
That's a very good question, and I hope I can have a very good answer. There are omega-3 in plant food sources like flaxseed, canola oil, but the omega-3 there is the short-chain omega-3 type. Very different than the long-chain omega-3, EPA and DHA, which you find in fish and fish oil.
Okay.
Now, the short-chain from plant food sources can be converted in the liver to long-chain, but the conversion is very poor. So it's better to consume the long-chain EPA, DHA preformed. Now, if you're a strict vegan and you will not consume any fish, there are algal supplements, very high in omega-3 available now with DHA and EPA, just like in fish. And these algal sources are what we call vegetarian supplements with omega-3 fatty acids. And it's the same fatty acids, the same benefits. Might cost a little more because the algal vegetarian are a little more expensive, but they're a good option for strict vegan vegetarians.
Thank you. Oh, very good.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? When people go to the market to choose the fish oil products, how can they know what kind of products has a high qualified, right? How to choose different omega-3 fish oil?
Well, first of all, the fish oil omega-3 products that are sold in supplement form have to go through government approval. So for almost all, I won't promise all, they're very safe products to consume. So what the consumer wants to do is look at the label and see how much EPA, how much DHA. So it'll say EPA, which is icosapentaenoic acid, EPA omega-3, they'll give you milligram per capsule. And then the DHA, omega-3, they'll give you milligram per capsule. So you can determine how much you're getting from that capsule. Then you can look at the price.
Okay.
For example, if you're getting omega-3 from krill oil capsules, krill oil is very popular in the market, but the omega-3 is very low, but they're very expensive. So the amount of money you pay for this amount of omega-3 from krill oil is going to be much, much more than most of the other fish oil supplements. So you look at the amounts and look at the price based on how much omega-3 you're getting.
Sorry. So that means like the concentration is more important for omega-3. The EPA and DHA concentration will be more important when we choose omega-3. Am I right?
Yeah, yes, absolutely right. You want to focus on how many milligrams of EPA and DHA you're getting. For some health conditions, you will have much more. And for others, you don't need as much. And so it depends on what health condition, as I'll be discussing today. For example, during pregnancy and lactation, to provide omega-3 to the baby in the womb and also in the breast milk, you need more than you're eating usually in the diet, but not real high amounts. But if you want to have it for lowering a blood fat called triglyceride, which, like cholesterol, is a risk factor for heart attacks, then you'll need much higher amounts to lower the triglycerides. So it depends upon what health condition you are trying to provide.
Dr. Bruce?
I got a question. Normally for the public, maybe they don't know anything, any knowledge for omega-3. How can we help them to choose the right product?
Well, as far as you're talking about brand name product, or you're talking about
because like Junior and Jane, and they are professionals. They have some knowledge to know how to choose the omega-3. But for 99% of the families, how can we help them to lower the product quality and help them to choose? And is it easy for them to choose the right product?
Well, as I mentioned, almost all of the products that are out there in supplements omega-3 have been approved by Health Canada. So it's comfortable to know.
Do you think we don't need to worry about? Just go there and pick it up and it is good?
Well, I don't want to guarantee all products, but let me say that when I grew up, our mother had us take cod liver oil for vitamin D and vitamin A. But it turns out that cod liver oil has omega-3, so our mothers were helping us with omega-3, even though they didn't know that at the time. But the problem with a product like bottled cod liver oil, it's a liquid oil. And the liquid is susceptible to oxidation. Because omega-3s, if you expose them to oxygen, they can oxidize, and that's not good. That's why the encapsulated products provide protection against the oxidation. But you want to look at the level of omega-3 in these products, and as I said, across the line, most of them are, quite safe. There are some websites where you can actually get and publish papers in journals where you can get the amount of omega-3 per capsule by brand name. So those are some things that you can look at. In general, there have not been any significant problems with the omega-3 supplements in the marketplace based on Health Canada's assessment or by the Food and Drug Administration in the US. But you have to be a little bit careful if you're on some medication. Like if you're on a blood thinner. Omega-3s help lower the blood clotting. But if you have atrial fibrillation, which is a heart arrhythmia, and you are in high levels of an anti-arrhythmic drug, you don't want to take real high levels of omega-3, but in general you can take 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day with no worry about problems. I will say that the average Japanese, where they're very heavy fish eaters, in their diet, because many of them, and maybe some of you have been to Japan, they're eating fish 5 or 7 times a week. So their average intake is maybe 700 or 800 milligrams of EPA DHA per day. The average Canadian only consumes 1 fish serving every 10 days. So our intake is very, very low, maybe 120 milligrams, and we should get that much higher. In general, at least to 500 milligrams, and even higher for certain medical conditions.
Yeah, we just actually I just heard some nutritionists will use a very higher amount of them, and for the cancer, and it is work. Do you have this? Do you have heard of that, or do you have this kind of case?
We do know that's well published in the medical literature that for prostate cancer and even survival from breast cancer, There are many published papers in medical journals that higher levels are beneficial. Now, I have a website. I don't market my website, but if you want to learn of all of this information, you can go to a website which I provided for education. It's DHA-omega3.org. And in the window, you can put in omega-3 cancer, whatever. And I give one-page summaries of all the published papers in medical journals, because as academics, if we cannot refer to a study in the medical journal, we can't talk about it. That's the discipline of academics. We are not a commercial group that will say anything for money. This has to be supported by published literature. And so today when I speak, I will have papers to support all of these, and all of the website I mentioned, DHAomega3.org. I have some lectures there, and you can look at that as well.
Thank you. That's really good.
My Chinese is not very good, I must say. I spoke a while back in Shanghai, and so I really enjoyed that visit. But unfortunately, they translated the lecture. But in Canada, we don't have to worry because everybody is bilingual here.
Okay. Dr. Bruce, just now you talked about omega-3 fish oil as a blood thinner. So there is some people are concerned about take a fish oil, omega-3 fish oil. For example, some people who are pregnant. Actually, when they're pregnant, they need a high dose. Do you think in different stage of the pregnant woman, what stage is the best stage to take a higher dose, and what stage to take a lower dose? Another question is for people who is going to have a surgery, do they concern about more bleeding, stop it, or continue to take it?
The published papers show, with respect to if you're going in for surgery, that if you're taking maybe 1,000 milligrams of EPA, DHA a day in a supplement, there's no need actually to stop taking the supplement. For people on antiarrhythmic drugs, there are studies showing that 2 to maybe even 3,000 milligrams are safe. Now, very rarely, with high levels of omega-3, if you're taking, say, a